Hi, my name is Kevin with Athenas Pets, and today in this video I want to talk to you guys about something super important when you start potty training your dog. This is the idea of understanding your dog and their needs as it relates to potty training. One of the first things we like to tell people is to use a little bit of a rule of thumb when trying to decide how often you should take them out. For young puppies, this rule of thumb typically means that for every month of age, they can hold their bladder for roughly an hour at a time. So for a puppy that's about 1 month old, they can hold their bladder for about an hour at a time. For a puppy that's 2 months old, about 2 hours at a time, and so on until they reach about 10 months old, where we see the maximum for most dogs be about 10 hours at a time that they can hold it in. Obviously, this doesn't apply during sleeping hours. Sometimes dogs can hold it a little bit longer, and sometimes others can't, but this is definitely something to keep in mind during the day when you're planning out your potty schedule. Again, there's some exceptions to this rule, and the first one is going to be dogs that are under 5 to 7 months old. During this time frame, dogs are still developing both externally and internally, and a lot of times their bladder they don't have full control over their bladder, so to speak. So during this first 5 to 7 months of their life, they might even have a couple of accidents, even if you're following this potty training schedule to a T using our rule of thumb before. This isn't something that's in our control, and it's something we're just going to have to understand that we'll need to deal with if we have a puppy that's younger than 5 to 7 months. However, once they get to that 5 to 7 month range, they should have pretty good control of their bladder at that point. The next point I'd like to make that's kind of an exception to our rule of thumb is some of our older dogs. Some older dogs have a little bit of a potty schedule already ingrained in their head, and a lot of times it's tough to break these habits. It's not impossible, but it does take a little bit of extra work, so just keep that in mind. Something else that would be something to consider when looking at your potty schedule is how active your dog is. So during times of high activity, your dogs are going to need to go to the bathroom more often than they would if they were sleeping, resting, napping, whatever it may be. But if they're jumping around, playing, having a good time, they're going to need to go potty more frequently than they would otherwise. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Another point is if they're eating or drinking, so right after they get some food or they're drinking heavily, whenever that is, you might want to take them out within the next 15 to 30 minutes just to make sure they have an opportunity to relieve themselves. Now, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for you guys. So we worked really hard and we created this super cool potty training schedule, which you can get absolutely free by clicking the link below and downloading it. And basically what it does is it sets up an entire day for you. So it goes through every hour of the day, and there's a little checkbox next to the plan word. And as you check that checkbox, that means you're planning to take your dog out at those hours every day. And this is something super important, is to set a plan and stick to it. And so because we wanted you guys to be successful at this, then we've got another section that's your activity section, and it has all of the days of the week. So let's say you plan to take your dog out at 8 a.m. and you have a checkbox next to the 8 a.m. for plan. As soon as you're successful at that on Monday, you can check the box off next to 8 a.m. on Monday. This is something really cool, and it's something that we hope is going to help you guys be super successful in your potty training journey. Now, some of the things you might want to consider when you're starting to create this potty schedule are: how old is my dog? How often do they drink water? When are they getting fed, and when are they drinking the most water? And of course, when are they the most active? So at what times are they the most active throughout the day? You're going to want to make sure you take these into consideration when you're developing your plan. Now, this is one of the absolute most integral parts of potty training as a whole, is setting a potty schedule and following it. We see a lot of owners implement this kind of thing. They'll put a potty schedule in place and they'll follow it consistently, and it's something that solves almost all of their potty training problems in general. It's something that gets your dog on a regular schedule and ready to go and accustomed to going at the same time. And it also is something that makes your potty times much quicker, so it's something that we encourage heavily. Now, with that being said, we understand that not everybody has the luxury of being at home all the time to be with their pups as much as they'd like to. Don't worry, in our full potty training course, we cover every detail of that, and we make sure that you're not left behind and that you have the proper strategies to tackle potty training even if you're not home 24/7 with your dog. Again, potty training schedules are super good even if you have someone else coming in to watch your dog, because at least it keeps the same structure and consistency for your dog. So it's definitely not something you want to write off. Also, if you're thinking that you might put off potty training until your dog hits those first 5 to 7 months, it's something that we don't recommend, because once you teach all the other strategies of potty training to your dog and they hit that 5 to 7 months where they can follow their potty training consistently, it just becomes so much easier at that point, and they don't become an older dog with habits already ingrained of going in the house, etc. So with that being said, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys. I want to make sure you guys have everything you need, so go ahead and click that link in the description below. And if you guys aren't part of our potty training course yet, feel free to sign up. And if you guys are, I hope you enjoy the rest of the content and you guys get some real value out of it and your dogs are potty trained in no time. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.